Circumcision is the most common surgery in America. Whether or not you choose to learn about it, it's there, directly impacting the majority of American men in the most intimate way possible.
One of the things I found about this issue is that nobody who thinks about it will ever forget it. They might not ever want to talk about it. They might spend time explaining that it's not an important issue, but people will circle back.
And yet, many Americans have never taken the time to think deeply about circumcision. Circumcision is the surgical removal of the foreskin, the foremost part of the male penis. And in America, it is typically performed on infants within the first few days of life. No other industrialized country routinely practices non-religious infant circumcision other than America. Isn't it odd that Americans have never had a national conversation about one of the central practices of their culture, a practice which affects so many on such a personal level? One group is starting a conversation about circumcision in America.
Intactivism is a social movement of people who believe that all children have a right to keep the genitals they were born with. Cutting any part of their genitals off is a violation of human rights.
And there are activists all over the world that understand our message that boys and girls are born with a body that is their right to keep.
They feel that that boy's right to decide for himself is more important than the parent's right to decide what's best for him.
It's a very powerful, compelling topic. For one thing, if you've acquiesced to having your child circumcised, and then you hear later that it might not have been the right thing, that's a mortifying feeling. It's a feeling either that overwhelms you with embarrassment or grief or rage, or it's one that you want to dismiss, but it's not a neutral thing. It's never a neutral thing for a parent.
Is there any parts removed, or is it just an incision?
The 5 most sensitive parts of the penis are removed during surgery.
Wow. Well, I'll read up on that. I didn't know. I thought it was just an incision. I had no idea they actually removed tissue.
It's very harmful because it's done to the baby without their permission.
You guys know that it's hygienic, right? You do know that, right?
It's not. I mean, you think we just came here and set up a demonstration without knowing what anything
you know it is hygienic.
You know, women have foreskin as well, right? They have full skin.
That's totally different.
And why vaginas with lots
That's
of
totally
folds?
different. Now, why? Because they have sensitive nerve endings.
And it's very...
If you're a circumcised man, it's a potentially awful thing to think about. Okay, I was tied down when I was a baby and somebody cut part of my body off. That's not so great, but I don't remember it. Maybe you know what, I'm fine. And all of this stuff comes into play, and I don't think you can just walk away from feelings like that.
I've been around a lot of social movements, but the one thing that's unique about the genital integrity movement is that it's all tragedy through and through. Something horrible happened to all of them to bring them here. Nobody came here feeling good about circumcision and then got involved. It's because something's happened to them or something's happened to somebody that they care about that's ruined their life. And I don't think that's too strong of a phrase either. Circumcision fundamentally changes you forever.
I went through what's called the obsessive epiphany.